All right. Hello and welcome to the Spot Marketing Made Easy podcast. I am joined by the incredible Lucy, our marketing manager slash AI specialist slash coach. We're in your ever evolving role as the way that we do business is ever evolving. So welcome, Lucy. Happy to have you here.
For having me. I'm excited to be here again.
So we wanted to do this episode. We actually originally planned this episode as kind of a chat GPT versus Claude so that people could have an understanding of the two different AI tools that I feel the majority of people out there are kind of choosing between. There are definitely other ones. There's Perplexity, there's Gemini, there's Grok. There's a lot of options out there, but what I'm seeing is that most people are using either ChatGPT or Claude. And as we've continued on, we're just coming off of our DC SPA CEO intensive, and everybody that was there was using Claude. And we have also chosen to go all in with Claude right now. And the big right now is that this world of AI is advancing so quickly with new releases and updates happening every week that Claude may not be the thing in a year from now. And so it's really important to not get attached to a particular model, but also be committed enough to utilize the functionality. I think it's forcing us to be flexible in our minds and with our choices. Would you agree?
I would definitely agree. And I think something that we shared at length on Monday during our event is that it's not only is it ever changing, but you can constantly be feeding it more information, that it's always evolving and it's always changing. So you may set something up one way as a foundation, but it's going to constantly change as you learn more and how you learn to use the software more.
Yes. So, for the sake of today, what we wanted to do is really more of an informative episode because sometimes you just need to see things. So, this is definitely going to be one that you want to watch the video on YouTube. So, if you are listening in your car, if you're doing your makeup right now, if you're on your morning walk, all of those things are lovely and amazing. But bookmark this one because we are going to share screen. I'm going to show you a couple of things about how Claude works. Okay, so this is going to be a relatively quick episode, but I just want to give you that overview so you have an understanding of the different possibilities with Claude and how it works. I think one really important thing to understand is the language of a particular software. So when we talk about ChatGPT and we talk about custom GPTs, ChatGPT in general, if you're just going in and typing into the chat, it's searching the entire web, everything that's out there. And so it's going to be very hard for you to get a customized response that sounds like you. And so this is why initially, and we've been playing with AI for probably about 2 years now, learning and testing and doing different things. And with a custom GPT, that's where you can train it to sound more like you. All right. And we've talked about, how to build a custom GPT. We did a tutorial in one of our magazines, but we've just saw that what is possible with Claude is so much faster and so much better of a result that we just want to lean in to this right now. Okay, so the difference between a custom GPT and ChatGPT, what that is in Claude is called a project. All right. So when we're looking at Claude, and maybe we'll just kind of go through, I think that's probably the easiest way, right? So when you are in Claude, you are going to have your sidebar here, and you're going to have all of these different custom GPTs, or in Claude, they're called projects. And I look at each one of these GPTs as an employee. So I look at them as an employee. I look at Coach Daniela as my twin. So I am able to put a ton of my thought and expertise into this project where I am training this project every single day on the way that I think, on the way that I answer questions, on my approach. And this becomes a tool that my coaching staff can use. So when they have a coaching call and our clients will put in what they want to talk about, then it will give an output of the way that I would approach that call. And that makes it really, really powerful to keep the messaging aligned. Our magazine, we have a GPT for that. That's a copywriter specific for the magazine. We've got a lot of different, so it's a lot of marketing that we're doing, our social media, our blog, but we do have an onboarding GPT for a coach. We have them specific to each of our programs. And what we're additionally doing is, and this is a little bit advanced, so I'm just like kind of sharing that this is a possibility, but we're constantly uploading skills into Claude to help teach the structure of our company and formatting and what we're about, if that makes sense.
Daniela, I want to just put a little note in here from someone who's on your team, just so that our listeners can get an understanding of, yes, you're the primary business, or you're the owner and you're the primary owner on the account. As someone on her team, that Coach Daniela project is invaluable and honestly just a priceless tool, because I do a lot of writing in Daniela's words. And so, say I need to go into the blog project to write a blog. Before I even go there, I go into Coach Daniela sometimes and I say, hey, this is the topic I'm going to be writing about. Can you give me some notes from past coaching calls of things that Daniela has said around this topic that I can take into that project and give it even more information? Because then it's pulling your exact words. So oftentimes the blog is written about things that you've already coached on. And so I can go in and grab notes and say, hey, has Daniela talked about this principle at all? And if so, give me a bullet list of things that she believes around this topic. And so it's really invaluable from a team perspective of someone who writes in your voice a lot to be able to go in there and have access to basically your brain.
So, and that brings up a good point because, we're at the point where we're just about to hit 500 episodes with the podcast. So there's a lot of transcripts of me speaking and my thought process and things that I'm talking about that we can put into the GPT to train it. But for a spa owner who maybe doesn't have a podcast or is really talking with their team or trying to get that focus, or like, how would I actually train this? There's a really cool software called Whisperflow. And Whisperflow is a dictation software. So if any Suits fans out there, Lewis, who he's like talking in the dictaphone all the time. This is basically like if you have your computer open, it will transcribe every single thing that you're saying. So say, for example, you're doing a daily huddle or a team meeting that's in person, but you want to make sure that that gets transcribed with your thought process. Or maybe you are training a new hire and you're going through in detail the philosophy of your spa, all of these things. You record yourself doing that once, and then you take that transcription and that becomes gold for your training. So the point of any of these GPTs, it's like the better input you have, the better output you have. And it is not a set it and forget it. It is something that you want to do more than once, right? You are continually updating and making it better. Okay, so when you're looking over here, so these are your projects, and you can have these could be now we have the Teams account. So the Teams account, we have everybody on my team is on the same Claude account. And it's sort of like Google Drive or like G Suite. If you have Gmail for your team, everybody has their own drive, but it also can be shared. That's kind of the easiest way that I think about it. And a big mindset shift that I want to get into is this software. I want you to think of it as an employee. When we think about adding a software, we're like, oh, another subscription, another. But when you think about the productivity of what you're able to achieve by putting the work into developing these tools, I mean, Lucy, maybe you can give an example. I know I'm kind of putting you on the spot here, but like of how your work has changed by being able to utilize these GPTs or your productivity now that you have these tools available to you.
Yeah, there are routines that I have to do as the marketing manager that are pretty time consuming from a standpoint of I'm building a full month of content for a variety of channels. It's not just Instagram. I'm thinking about 4 different blog posts, and then you are committed to a podcast every Monday that I help you with. And then in addition to Instagram, we're thinking about Facebook. We're thinking about our Spa Marketing Made Easy Facebook group. We're thinking about our community within Fundamentals. I know I'm missing some other things like email.
LinkedIn, YouTube, Pinterest.
Pinterest, YouTube Shorts. Like
Yeah.
there are so many different channels that we are active on. And while I'm having to build content for that, I'm also trying to figure out how to do it in a productive and efficient way. Well, I'm in the middle of some projects with that, but Claude is 10 times making me more efficient, I guess, because I'm able to pull from the different areas that you are doing in your daily business. So you're coaching or you are hosting calls or you're hosting free trainings. And now I'm able to gather all that information. We're writing the magazine. That's one of the channels I missed. We're taking all of these different opportunities where you're in your zone of coaching. And now we're able to upload those to these different projects to make my job more efficient because I don't have to be like, Daniela, I need to know X, Y, and Z about you. You're already doing those things. And then I'm able to find the transcripts, upload those, say, this is what she talked about. This is how it relates to the monthly focus. Now let's put it into action of actually building content. And I would say it's saving us hours and hours every month.
Well, I think back to even just like the beginning of 2025, and you were still handwriting, sitting down and writing the caption for every single post. And
Mhm.
so we would, I think about like the time that it would take me and then the time that it would take you and going through the shared Google Drive document, we have not only, I think, probably slashed the time by at least 85% of what it would take, but we have multiplied the channels that we are on because we were really only focusing on Instagram before. And now with the support of the GPT, we've been able to create content written specifically in that voice for what does Instagram want? What does Pinterest want? What does LinkedIn want? What are the captions that goes at the bottom of the YouTube video? What are the engagement questions that we're going to put into the Facebook group? We've been able to massively, probably 10x our productivity while shrinking the time drastically. And so what does that mean from a business standpoint? Well, it's, you definitely don't want to be the brand, the brand that's everywhere and not doing anything well. But when you've trained your GPTs enough that they know your voice and they can write for that particular platform. So it's not like the same caption that goes on Instagram is not the same caption that goes on LinkedIn. And that's important. If we were to be doing this level of output even a year and a half ago, we would need a team of probably 15 marketers to be able to create the level of content, like full-time marketers writing this copy, do, all of that. And now I think our team's account is, it'll be around $100 a month for your team's account. And if I were to say to you, all right, well, if you want someone to do your social media content in your voice, aligned with your ICA, they're never sick. They always take feedback incredibly well, and they're going to cost you $100 a month, and your whole team will have access to them to support you. Like that as an employee, you're like, yeah, right? Because I mean, still out there, I'm sure there are people that are paying, $1,000, $2,000 a month for support with social media.
Yeah.
And, just last Friday, the Claude Design came out. Guys, Claude Design is going to knock your socks off. If I were, there's a lot of companies out there that I'm like, well, I wonder how Canva is going to deal with this, or I wonder how, these different platforms are going to be dealing with this. So it's really such a drastic mindset shift on how you're using this software, and how you're utilizing and shifting your team, and what they're actually doing. And
That was the second part I was going to go in with my efficiency. Having access to all of those things is incredible. It then increases my productivity and how fast I'm able to get things accomplished, which frees up time to now explore and dive deeper into these features of the software. Because oftentimes we get into a rhythm where we're like, we use this software for just this, and then we don't have enough time to
use like 10% of what it's actually capable of.
We've had those conversations with different things that we have access to that we're like, we have not even tapped into what really this could probably do for us. I think Funnel Gorgeous is a great example where we're like, we've gotten to a point where we're like, we need to dive deeper into some tutorials. And that is what Claude is. That's why I'm constantly in Claude. I'm able to get my routines done. And that's where I was going with the first part of that answer. And now the second half of the day or the week, whatever it might be on my schedule, I can now go deeper and understand. We have the foundation set up for the projects, but now how do skills relate to those projects? How do I connect like, how can I not only make things more efficient, but make it deeper and a better output for Addo Aesthetics and building different projects for clients that we have? Because like building these things, we're then sharing them within our programs, which is the next step of using Claude for us.
So one of the things I think that's really amazing too is like, because you have really increased the efficiency of your work, you do have available hours that you can now spend coaching with our clients, right? And that's the human aspect. And so like my goal as the CEO is to cut the routines of my team in half. And we're going to continue to do that and continue to do that and have AI handle whatever they can handle. You were on a coaching call yesterday with a client, and she was struggling with some training issues. And she wanted to she's like, I can do this, but my staff can't do this. And I'm really struggling with how to teach. And you were able in a 50-minute call to cover the topic and then also build a tool that she can use that is like without giving away any information about her spa. You went,
So when you're in your daily huddles, you can, whether it's daily huddle or working one-on-one with someone who's going to be selling whatever it might be, a membership, an event ticket, retail.
front desk.
Front desk, yes.
Yeah.
You can go into this tool and role play. So if someone's giving,
But to build it, you interviewed her and understood her entire process. Yeah, her entire process from start to finish. What is she doing? Why is it working for her? What's the language that she's using? And now it's this really cool interactive app that you are able to download, give to her. She can go through and use it with her team. And now that's going to free up her time and she can have that tool working as a training aspect.
And giving direct feedback like it was from her mouth
Yeah.
because it is her sales philosophy.
Yeah. So cool. Okay, so I know we totally like sidebarred here and when we're
We're
like,
just so excited.
Claude's awesome, guys. Claude's awesome. All right, let me go back to the walkthrough because I want to show you guys a little bit of the differences here. So what you're looking at is projects, but over here you have chats. So chat is just like the regular, if I just want to talk about anything that's not necessarily aligned with a specific project.
Mhm.
So I can go ahead and put that in there. The project is, very customized for a particular output. Okay. If you want to search, you can search anywhere within your projects or your chats. This is code. So, code, I mean, you can build a whole website with code. What we've used it for is for creating the code to create really incredible spreadsheets for our clients. And so being able to create, custom code for what we're looking for, and then drop that into a a spreadsheet and then make it specifically for them. When we're in customize, this is where you can connect your apps. So if we're looking at this, you can connect Google Drive, Google Calendar, you can connect Zoom, you can connect Monday, all of these things. One of the things that we are working on right now, this is just again to give you like a vision of what is possible. We use Monday.com as our project management software. And we just built a chief of staff skill that's like getting input today, getting uploaded today. That chief of staff skill will, what it'll do is like if Lucy and I are having a meeting, then our meeting, the transcription will be pulled. The tasks of what needs to happen next will be identified. The chief of staff GPT will pull those tasks, put them on Monday with the appropriate person and the appropriate due date. The chief of staff also goes through Monday and is able to see any items that were not completed. And it can send you a report that said, hey, these things are not completed. Here's what you need to address or whatever. That, my friends, is massive, massive. Like I can't even, an operational manager, depending on where you're at in the country, could be somewhere between $60,000 to $80,000 a year for someone that is like a project management or operational lead for your company. So you can now do that with Claude, which by the way is still $100 a month, no matter how many projects you add in there. It can do it's like you have to add these things in. But when you're looking at there's some different connectors that you can add in here. We have Canva, Gmail, Google Drive, Granola, Pipedream, which is a custom connector, and then Slack. So it's connected in all of these different things. Okay. This is Canva design. So we are just now working on Canva design. We haven't even uploaded our templates or whatnot, but we can give it, here's what we want our slide deck to look like. Here's what we want our other templates. So imagine like having Claude design do your service menu for you, do a flyer that you're going to do as your like shelf talkers. You can it can be done in minutes and it's all from voice.
So
It's
just to give people some like perspective on how fast things are going, just last week, I officially got like the Addo Aesthetics brand skill uploaded into the account the way that we wanted it to. We were working out some kinks and then Claude Design.
hey, yeah,
And the skill is still important because you want it to know exactly what your branding is
Your brand colors, the fonts that you're using,
when it's creating Word documents for you or anything of that nature, like just internal documentations. But I had gotten that to a point where it had built a slide deck for us in one of the projects, and we were like, "Oh, this is so cool." And then a week later, Claude Design is here. Like you have this win and you're like, yay. And then a week later, you're like, okay, I got to learn more now. But that's what I'm talking about with efficiency of like, I'm getting my routines done and now I can dive deeper. I had one small win, which we can celebrate. You always need to celebrate the small wins. But now I get back to work and I can get it deeper and then I can come to Daniela and be like, look, even cooler now. We can do this.
I think one piece too that I want to add in here is, and shout out to my friend Mark who taught me this at our event. Another new release is called Dispatch. So if you have Claude on your phone, because a lot of what you're doing with any AI tool, it's going to be significantly better on desktop. It's just going to be more powerful. It's going to be easier. There's going to be more options. But Dispatch, if you connect your phone app with your desktop app, you can be out on your morning walk and you can give Claude desktop directions to get started on a particular project. Now, when you hear people talking about tokens or different things like that, you have a certain amount of tokens, a certain amount of usage that you can have. And that resets within Claude every 5 hours. Okay. So, in order to get the maximum amount of tokens or usage of your tokens in a 24-hour period, you can actually, if you have Claude Cowork set up in there, you can be scheduling tasks to be done. And you can also, by the time you sign off, you can say, all right, Claude, I want you to work on this. And so then when you come back in the morning, then it is there. So there's so many, I just want you to understand what is possible with these AI tools. Okay. So it's not just, you know, I think about like KPIs and how KPIs are the language of your business. And one of the things that we're working on behind the scenes is really creating a lot of these skills that our clients can actually upload into their Claude so they don't have to be the AI experts. Like I have learned that I have a borderline unhealthy obsession with AI and Lucy does too. We
Get lost.
we get lost. We get lost in there. But like when you're running a spa, like you want to run your spa and you just want these things to work. And so we have little by little transitioned into how can we just create this for our clients without them having to do all of the heavy lifting. So we've been working on a lot of really incredible skills that can be uploaded. And one of those is looking like really creating a KPI dashboard custom to you that you can connect with your spa booking software. You can connect with whatever your payment processor is, and it will tell you and show you exactly the KPIs that you want to see in one dashboard. So if you're visual and you want to see it in a particular type of graph, if you want to see trends, from the beginning of the year to now, if you want to understand what the KPIs actually mean, it will tell you, oh, this is what's going on here and this is what's going on here. That's what this is telling you. This is all possible, guys. Like, gone are the days of you being required to have your front desk fill out the KPI tracker, which, like, it's a love-hate relationship, that KPI tracker, because it gives you so much incredible, valuable data. But we can automate that. We can remove that from the front desk so that the front desk can have the time to actually talk to the patient that's there that wants to be like a chatty Cathy up at the front desk because it's her social hour. Good for her. She should have that, like, and now she can if we're able to take some of these administrative tasks off of the plate. Okay, Lucy, anything else you think I'm missing around like our Claude cheerleading session that we just had?
No, I just, again, I want to, I guess, highlight and make it clear that these are tools that are available, and the way that they become less generic and more specialized is the more time that you spend on the build out. So I know that it can be really overwhelming, and it can be like, oh my gosh, I have so many different documents I have to feed it. Like, I have so much information to share with it. One thing at a time, because you can always finish a couple things and then come back later. It's not like it's a set it, forget it. You have to save it and it's permanent. That was one thing on Monday. I said, when you press an enter button, it's not permanent. You will be able to go back and say, hey, I had already shared X, Y, and Z, and now I want to add to that. And it'll say, okay. And then it'll take the knowledge and it'll save the memory. So never feel like the work is done. You can take your time with it.
Yeah. So I do want to say, I talked a lot about Claude Teams because that's what we're using. But if it's a better fit for you right now, you can do the Claude Pro plan, which is $20 a month. We are not an affiliate. I don't even think they have affiliates. We're just telling you exactly what we're using. But the Claude Pro plan is your own personal plan. So the only thing that is going to be the issue there is that if you are using Claude Pro and you build out all these projects for your spa, you're still going to be the only one that can use that account. It won't be until you move over to Claude Teams that you can allow your providers or other employees to be using that account. You can also on Claude Teams, you can choose what projects or chats are private to you and what is shared with the entire company. It also makes it very easy if someone is no longer with the company to remove them and remove, those assets, their access to those assets. So whatever space you're in, like if you want to start with Claude Pro and then move into Teams, it's all good. And listen, we are here, right? So you can easily, if you need help or support, just book a coaching call. We can help you get it set up. We can answer any questions. If you're trying to figure out, what is possible or what makes the most sense with where you're at, then just book a call. We've got you covered. All right. Thank you so, so much for being here. Please go and play with Claude. Test it out. It will change your business. Quick reminder before you leave, if your spa growth still depends on you doing more, it's time for a shift. Watch The System Shift, a free training designed to help spa owners break past that $25,000 to $35,000 month plateau without adding more treatment hours. You'll learn the CEO level systems that help you scale while protecting your time, your values, and your peace. Go to grow.addoaesthetics.com/podcast and watch The Systems Shift. That's grow.addoaesthetics.com/podcast.